Hi, I'm Molly here, and tonight I gotta talk about Butch Reed, who was a former teammate to Ron Simmons, who was in WCW and NWA CS or Central State, was also in, I believe, Mid South Wrestling at one time, WWF at one time, and also in WCW. Well, he died yesterday, but I didn't get time to get time to make a film talking about Butch Reed until now. Well, what's much to say about Butch Reed? He started out in the NFL as a football player, and then and then after that, he shifted from being a football player over to a wrestler. Um, and he started out in the NWA in Central State, and then he went to Mid South Wrestling when it was owned by Bill Watts, and then he went to Mid Atlantic World Championship Wrestling after, you know, and then spent time in the World Wrestling Federation and back to World Championship Wrestling, and I believe he was in Extreme Championship Wrestling for a while too, but in the early days. And he was a former WCW team winner with Ron Simmons as Doom, before they would lose their winnings to the fabulous Freebirds of Michael Hayes and Jimmy Granger. Um, you know, sad for clearing my throat there, but that's really all I know about Butch Reed. I know that he showed up again in 2007 YL when Theodore Long and Crystal Marshall were doing this. We're going to get wedlocked. They had this whole saga and tale going that Theodore Long had Crystal Marshall was going to be his wife to be, and they were working up to him getting wedlocked. And this was and Butch Reed was one of those dare one night thing. Now, a lot of folks might say, um, Butch Reed, he was a good wrestler to say from the work I saw, and mostly I know him from his time in WCW and the WWF. To be earnest with you, if he, you know, and sadly Butch Reed will be missed, by his kin, his friends, his anyone else who knew him, his followers. And I know some folks out there are going to say, oh, well, didn't Butch Reed start out in the NFL as a football player? Yeah, he did. Like a lot of wrestlers. Well, not all wrestlers, but a lot of them had football backgrounds. And I believe that he became a wrestler after he may have gotten wounded and couldn't do football anymore. And wrestling was the next thing he jumped to. He eloped it to. Went to, I should say. Um, the only winnings, I don't think I think he was only a former WCW team winner for Ron Simmons. So I don't really know if he won any more things beyond that. You know. Yes, I know some folks are going to say, how did you know about Butch Reed dying? Well, I didn't go on W's Webstead that day. I heard about it when I was watching Friday Night SmackDown yesterday. So, Butch Reed, he's now up in heaven now with God and Jesus now. He's at rest now. He's at a good stead. He'll be missed by his friends, his kin, his followers, his half workers, anyone else who knew him. You know? And I know there were there were always going to be and there were a lot of times where Butch Reed would have come back to WF, but he never did. There were sagas and tales that going back to when the Nation of Domination or the Land of Overtaking was going on, that they were going to bring Butch Reed in and he was going to be one of the followers. Well, it never happened. It never happened. And they had about many offshoots of that team, but it never happened. He never never did come in to be a follower of any of those teams. neither the Farouk Hassan led or the Rocky Maivia led offshoots of the team. So it is what it is. Um, as I said, Butch Reed was a friend to Ron Simmons. They were teammates. Their name was Doom. They were former WCW team winners. I believe at the end of the day, that was truly sad to hear that Butch Reed died, and now he's up in heaven now with God and Jesus. Now he's at rest now in a good stead, and that's all I know about him. If anyone else knows more about him as a wrestler and as a football player and what he did, let me know. But that's all I know. Well, if you like this film, then by all means watch the film we made earlier today, where Sailor Jupiter was fighting evil Kaiser Zurg. I'm Molly, and I hope you like this film. Or follow us at Sailor Moon for Life.